Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ. Kamehameha Schools, empowering Hawaiian keiki to explore, discover, and inspire. The Kosasa Foundation, helping to transform education and develop Hawaii's workforce through bold learning initiatives like HIKI NŌ.
HIKI NŌ, Hawaii's new wave of storytellers.
Aloha and welcome to this week's episode of HIKI NŌ.
Tonight we showcase the first ever 2021 HIKI NŌ Triple Crown of Storytelling Challenge. Challenges are very different from the normal HIKI NŌ process in that we were only given 4 days to complete a project.
But this was a HIKI NŌ competition unlike any other.
In addition to the traditional story category, we also competed in 2 others, the how-to and the student reflection.
All projects had to express the theme more than meets the eye.
Tonight we will showcase winning entries from both middle and high school divisions. You'll get to see winners from the how-to and the student reflection categories.
First up, the how-tos. A HIKI NŌ how-to is an explainer or a process video that teaches viewers something new.
Scoring was based on how well we expressed the theme, explained the process, and our production quality.
Let's watch the winning entries.
And now, the how-to, receiving an honorable mention in the high school division in the 2021 HIKI NŌ Triple Crown of Storytelling is Hilo High School on Hawaii Island. Congratulations!
The pandemic has limited our interactions with others. Distance learning kept us online and away from opportunities to make new friends. Now that school is back in session, many of us are in new schools or surrounded by new faces. We have lost our social skills. So today, we will show you 4 different ways on how to make a connection with others. Our first way is find something that makes you laugh and show others. Talk with people about hobbies, school, and what they like or dislike. Maybe start with someone that you sit next to in class. Through conversations, you will see that they are more than meets the eye. The second way is to join a club and interact with the people there. When doing this, you are surrounded by people that have similar interests and goals as you. This makes it easier for you to make a connection with them. Our third way is to play games with people and invite others to join you. For example, play a fun but simple sport. Or find what games others are interested in, then invite them to play. Way number 4 is to be kind towards others. If someone needs help, offer assistance. Starting with little acts of kindness draws people to you, and you have an opportunity to make a new friend. At first, it may be hard to take the first step to make a connection. You might even doubt if people want to be your friend. But it is important to take that first step. Whether you are naturally shy or outgoing, meaningful connections will help you make new friends with all sorts of people. This is Kalani Kili'ipakawa from Hilo High School for HIKI NŌ.
Receiving an honorable mention in the how-to category of the middle school division is Moanalua Middle School on Oahu. Congratulations!
Hats seem like everyday, ordinary headwear, but there's more to them than meets the eye. They can have multiple different purposes, such as being used for protection from the rain, covering up any bad hair day. You can even use it as a tipping hat. But mainly, it is used for fashion. But how do you take a simple, bland hat and turn it into a fashion statement? First, you'll need any hat that you can find laying around the house. Then find objects that you want to decorate your hat in. For us, we will be using artificial flowers and some ribbons. Then, grab a glue gun. Now, our materials are all prepared. First, you want to grab and arrange the flowers in the way you want it to be before you attach it to the hat. Once you're satisfied with your design, then grab your glue gun and put a small bit of glue onto your flower. Then, attach the flower with the glue onto the hat. Once you're finished doing it to every flower, now you have a stylish hat.
The final honorable mention from the high school division in the How-To category is Hawaii Technology Academy Public Charter School on Oahu. Congratulations!
Did you know that you can make a candle out of something that you could find outside right now? What may be seen as a typical kukui nut is more than meets the eye. It can be turned into a source of light in just a few easy steps. First, you would have to, of course, find a kukui nut tree. Once you've found one, collect the dry kukui nuts from the ground below the tree. Use a blunt object to safely crack open the shell, revealing the nut. Here, you can pick what piece or pieces that you want to use. Note that if your kukui nut cracks into smaller pieces, you can still use them, though a whole nut will last much longer, around 5 minutes. Once you have your desired piece, use a match or lighter to light it. If it doesn't light at first, don't worry, just keep trying as it may take several tries to light. Finally, once you're finished, find a safe container to store them in. Kukui nuts, or also known as a candle nut, was used for survival and as a source of temporary light. Not only can you use a nut as a candle, but you can also use the burnt leftover as a dye to write or draw. The shell of the kukui nut is also used to make lei, which is something given to someone to show love, friendship, honor, or celebrate someone. There's also a saying that the Hawaiian candle is lighting the way, as well as being seen as a way spiritually. This is Mia Bella Placken from Hawaii Technology Academy reporting for HIKI NŌ.
Coming in third place in the high school division of the How-To category, Maui High School. Congratulations!
Aloha kako o ho'ohie o ka la ko'i noa. Today we are going to be making a tea leaf lei. Ensure you are in the right mindset throughout all of these steps, as your mana or power will translate itself into the lei, thus affecting its outcome and effectiveness.
The first step is to gather your materials. You will need a pair of scissors and some tea leaves. Next, you cut your tea leaves as close as you can to the stem.
Next, we are going to cut our leaves along the stem. Then we are going to pop them in the microwave to make them soft. To start off the lei, we're going to tie 2 strips into a knot and hook it onto our big toe. Then we are going to twist the 2 strips in the same direction and overlap them in the opposite direction. We are going to repeat this process until we hit our desired lei length. Lastly, to finish it all off, we're going to tie it in a knot. This lei represents the mana of its maker, good fortune, and is an homage to Hawaiian culture and beliefs. Looking past its decorative value, a deeper meaning can be found that is more than meets the eye. This is Ho'ohie o ka la Luna Beamer from Maui High School for HIKI NŌ.
There was no third place winner in the middle school How-To category. Taking second place in the How-To category among middle schools is Highlands Intermediate School on Oahu. Congratulations!
The camera obscura was first documented by Motsu in 400 BC. It was used to project images to draw. It eventually led to the invention of the camera. When you look through the camera obscura, the image appears to be upside down. This is because light moves in a straight line through the hole, so the projected image will appear to be upside down. Today, I'll show you how to make one yourself. First, gather your materials. You will need a 2 by 2 inch square of wax paper, a roll of duct tape, an X-Acto knife, a marker, a toothpick, and a clean can of chips. Next, use your marker to draw a line around the can. You should draw the line about 2 inches from the bottom. Using an X-Acto knife, cut on the line. Please be careful when using a knife or ask an adult for help. Then take the cover off the taller side of the can. On the cut side of the shorter can, put the wax paper and then the lid. On the bottom of the shorter can, punch a small hole the size of a toothpick to let the light in. Connect the smaller can back to the bigger one using tape. Add a second or third layer of tape to make sure all extra light is out. Then, you can decorate the can as you want. To use the camera obscura, look through the open side of the can. Cup your hands around the opening of the can, or you can place something over your face to block most light out. When you look at the camera obscura, the image should be upside down. The camera obscura can be used to project images to draw. This is Maricela DeLeo from Highlands Intermediate for HIKI NŌ.
Now, coming in second place in the high school how-to category, Kauai High School. Congratulations!
Hello everyone. Today I'll be showing you how to make cone sushi. This is straight out of my childhood, as my father and I would always pick up from Sekiyos to bring to my grandparents. To make cone sushi, you'll need the following: cooked rice, salt, sugar, rice vinegar, cooked carrots, toasted sesame seeds, and the inari sushi wrapper. First step is to mix the salt, sugar, and rice vinegar together. It may sound a little crazy, but I feel like cone sushi is like very symbolic in a way, because people are hesitant to try it because of the look, but you gotta look past it. I mean, trust me, it's bomb. Then, in a large bowl, take your rice and slowly drizzle in the mixture from earlier. Add in the chopped carrots and sesame seeds. Then with a rice paddle, mix it together by folding it in. You know, I always looked up to my grandfather, Takashi Kajihara. After the attack on Pearl Harbor, when the Japanese Americans couldn't serve in the military, he joined the labor unit of Japanese Americans, known as the Varsity Victory Volunteers. This was to prove his loyalty to the US along with all the other Japanese Americans. Now, get the prepared inari sushi wrapper and fill it with the rice. When the 442nd was formed, he went on to be part of military intelligence and served until the end of the war. Back then, Japanese Americans weren't considered citizens because of their ethnicity, and they all worked really hard to get people to look past that and recognize them as equals. So I guess it's kind of like kon sushi in a way. You have to look past it and try it out. And there it is, kon sushi. Now you can share it with your friends, family, or just eat it yourself. This is Tai Kajihara from Kauai High School for HIKI NŌ.
And now, the first place winner of the 2021 HIKI NŌ Triple Crown of Storytelling How-To category in the middle school division is Chiefess Kamakahele Middle School. Congratulations!
Misusing someone's pronouns can make someone feel invalidated or dysphoric. Pronouns in the LGBTQ+ community can help someone show their true identity. Pronouns are words like he, him, she, her, and they, them. Let's get started on learning how to respect someone's pronouns.
Step 1. You would have to know the other person's pronouns first. One way to do this is by influencing the other person to share theirs, like adding in your pronouns to your introductions.
I'm Caitlin, and my pronouns are she, her. What are yours?
The other person could possibly feel comfortable sharing their pronouns now that you have made a safe space to talk about that.
Oh, hi Caitlin. My name is Trey, and my pronouns are he, they.
Since you have their preferred pronouns, it's time for step 2. Whenever you address them in a sentence, use their preferred pronouns instead, like, oh, he's such a great friend, or they are amazing. But what if you mess up someone's pronouns?
Isn't she in media?
You're not in trouble yet. Just correct yourself.
Oh, I meant to say, isn't he in media?
Apologize.
I apologize.
And move on. Simple as that. Even if that person isn't there, you still have to use their preferred pronouns because you may end up disrespecting their identity in front of them.
As you can see, someone's identity is much more than what meets the eye. Respecting someone's pronouns is simple, and it's the most basic way of showing that you care.
And finally, taking first place in the How-To category of the high school division is Oahu's Moanalua High School. Congratulations!
A lei is very common and usually given at special occasions as a symbol of aloha. But what some might not know is that a lei can be more than just flowers, and you want to be sure you choose the right one for every occasion. We will be showing you how to pick a lei. First, determine what occasion the lei is for. Lei can be given at graduations, birthday parties, weddings, baby showers, anniversaries, and more. Second, based on the occasion, decide what style of lei is most appropriate. There are 3 common styles. An open lei a'i is best for baby showers, as an open lei is considered good luck for the baby and its mother. This is also a popular style for men, as it is simple yet regal. A closed lei a'i is the most common lei. It can be given at birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, and to greet and say farewell to people. And a lei po'o, which is worn on your head, is a style of lei that should be worn by the honorary to signify rank and adornment. Lastly, choose the materials that will go into the lei, as certain flowers and leaves being used hold significance too. For example, a lei made of tea leaf is typically given to men because it is seen as more masculine, while women are often given lei made of fresh, fragrant flowers like carnations, which symbolizes love. There are many more flowers that mean different things, you just have to do your research. Now that you know how to pick a lei, it is important to remember that no matter which you choose, a lei is a representation of aloha and will always be appreciated. This is Arista Uri'i from Moanalua High School reporting for HIKI NŌ.
Now, let's watch the winning entries in the Student Reflection category.
In HIKI NŌ Student Reflections, students are asked to reflect on a life experience from their point of view.
In the Student Reflection category among middle schools, third place goes to Moanalua Middle School on Oahu. Congratulations!
My name is Allison Kumala'a. I'm a 7th grader at Moanalua Middle School on the island of Oahu. I'm recording this at my school on September 25th, 2021. If you looked at me, you wouldn't be able to tell. I think I look like a typical 12-year-old, but the last 7 months have changed me in so many ways. In February 2021, I woke up one morning and I couldn't see. Everything was very blurry, but I didn't tell anyone at first. When I did, they immediately called the doctor. They said I had severe vision loss in both eyes because of a medical condition that affected my retina and optic nerve. I was legally blind. At the beginning of the school year, I was terrified how I would make it through school. I could barely see 5 feet in front of me. How could I do anything if I could barely see the board, much less what's on it? But luckily, I learned a different kind of lesson this year. I learned how kind and helpful people and friends can help you overcome any obstacle. From the teachers that were very accommodating, to Auntie Leanne and the other educational assistants who helped to show me the way to class each day, and my friends and neighbors who sometimes read to me what's on the board in classes. They all have helped me to see that I don't have to do this alone. They have all taught me how to be patient and how to persevere. The doctors still don't know when or if I'll ever get my eyesight back. But with the help of all my family and friends, and just a little patience and perseverance, I know I can get through whatever comes next. There's definitely more to me now than just my eyes.
Coming in second place in the middle school division of the Student Reflection category, Highlands Intermediate School on Oahu. Congratulations!
This is Reagan Chang, a 7th grader at Highlands Intermediate School on Oahu. I'm recording this at Pearl City Recreational Center on September 26, 2021. I thought that the transition between elementary school and middle school was going to be okay because I had my close friends to rely on, even though we were going to different middle schools. I thought that since we had each other's number, I could call and text them anytime so our friendship wouldn't really change. This wasn't the case. Due to a lot of homework and not being able to hang out during school, I lost a lot of my good friends. This was really hard during middle school because I didn't have their support. Without them to lean on, I got anxious about homework, the new people, and all the new responsibilities put onto me. It was all very crushing. I now realize that losing friends was inevitable and does hurt, but I was able to bounce back. Because now I know that it gave me more opportunities I didn't see before. I got to meet new people and make new friends, like the ones I'm working on this project with. I learned that transitioning is not as easy as I thought it would be, and that change is hard, but it can open new opportunities. Amit Ray said, "Life throws challenges, and with every challenge comes rainbows and lights to conquer it." Transitioning to middle school has proven this to me, and I need to remember this during challenging times in my future.
Coming in second place in the high school division of the Student Reflection category, Kauai High School. Congratulations!
A question that has been on my mind is, what do people live for, and what gives them meaning? In my life, I noticed that I tend to live for the milestones. I think others get lost in this type of thinking too. They live for graduation, relationships, and in general, just big moments. I catch myself thinking, I'm just getting through every day so that I can have a turn to experience these things. But if you think about it, there's a lot of time between these milestones. And this time could be known as mundane or normal or boring. But if I'm only living for the successes in my life, then am I wasting the other parts? And I find myself waiting for the weekend to come. But maybe I should be paying more attention to the weekdays and live in the moment. There is more than what meets the eye to how you live life. That's why recently I've been trying to see events that are categorized as problems as entertainment. When anything goes wrong, I find myself saying, just more entertainment. And this mindset, I think, has had a really overall positive effect on me because I tend to view entertainment as, fun and enjoyable. So the stressful moments become more lighthearted in a way. And it changes how I perceive all the events that happen in my life. Why don't you just look at problems as a plot twist in a movie that's starring you? The main character, me, doesn't know what happens next. But that's the fun in it. Life can be entertaining if you choose to let it. Life is more than what meets the eye. You may be living for the big moments, but make sure to appreciate the small ones and understand that how you perceive life, your perspective and your mindset is really impactful. I'm Aubrey Bouchard from Kauai High School for HIKI NŌ.
Now, for the middle school first place entry in the student reflection category, Chiefess Kamakahele Middle School on Kauai. Congratulations!
Producing a video is hard as it is. Producing a video in 4 days is even harder, especially when you're trying to match HIKI NŌ standards, the same standards that news reporters are judged on. This is Jayani Kakutani, an 8th grader at Chiefess Kamakahele Middle School on Kauai. I'm recording this on our campus on September 27th, 2021. I am participating in a student reflection for the HIKI NŌ Triple Crown of Storytelling Challenge with 3 other teammates, Aaron, Juniper, and Logan. When my team and I got the prompt, More Than Meets the Eye, on Thursday, I couldn't think of anything that would fit, and I only had 1 hour to stay after school that day. Friday we stayed from after school till 8:30 p.m. and we were just stumped, with no ideas, no inspiration, no nothing. Saturday we came back at 8:30 a.m. and finally got an idea. What if I reflected on this weekend's challenge, since the video making process is not what people think, and it's definitely more than meets the eye. That fits the topic. Even though we thought we had an idea, we had the most difficult thing to do, plan. I rewrote at least 9 times because we had run-on sentences and unclear thoughts, which was tiring and stressful. Sunday, I was exhausted. My group was exhausted, everyone was exhausted. We had to film, edit, and one of our team members had to leave for part of the day. This may not sound like a lot, but you have to memorize a script, not mess up, know how to set up a camera, find a quiet place to get clear audio, and sometimes equipment dies if you're not careful. Even the things that we couldn't control were against us, like the weather. Luckily, we held it all together and made a video. This goes to show that making a video is way more than meets the eye. So, how did I do?
Among all high school entries, this one took first place in the student reflection category. Congratulations to Hilo High School on Hawaii Island.
This is King James Mangoba, a junior at Hilo High School on Hawaii Island. I'm recording this on Hilo High School campus on September 25th, 2021. Some people say that learning how to drive is fun.
But from my experience, it wasn't.
Since I lived long distance from school, my dad always reminded me that I need to learn how to drive as soon as possible. At first, I was terrified of being on the road and the idea of getting to an accident. While learning how to drive, my dad was super strict and I felt really pressured. At times, it was very stressful. I remember crying in a parking lot because I could not park a vehicle properly. Eventually, I realized that my dad was being strict on me not because I need to learn how to operate a vehicle, but because I need to be a safe and responsible driver. As I slowly learned how to drive, I became more comfortable and more experienced. Focusing on safety makes driving much simpler and less stressful. Now that I have learned how to drive, I've realized that driving requires a huge amount of responsibility and attention. Driving is not just about steering the wheel or pressing the gas pedal. It is about getting to your destination safely. I have and will continue to be a good driver for the safety of myself, my passengers, and for the other road users as well. Driving is more than just about operating a vehicle. There is more than to it than it meets the eye. Driving is about being a safe and responsible driver for everyone involved.
Mahalo for joining us for this special episode showcasing the 2021 HIKI NŌ Triple Crown of Storytelling Challenge.
To find out the winners of the story category and see if any school took the Triple Crown of Storytelling title, be sure to tune in next week.
Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo, and by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ. Kamehameha Schools, empowering Hawaiian keiki to explore, discover, and inspire. The Kosasa Foundation, helping to transform education and develop Hawaii's workforce through bold learning initiatives like HIKI NŌ.